Hey, what is up everyone? It's Rich. Alright, welcome to the second video of the day. Today we're going to look at a little more Shirow Masamune. And so I grabbed out Ghost in the Shell. I have two versions of it. I might even have a third. And then a little apple seed. I flipped through this. This stuff is super detailed. So it was very tempting to look through. But I think what we'll do is we'll look through this Ghost in the Shell. This came in like a 2-book. These are hardcovers. I have Man-Machine Interface, and then this one. Man-Machine Interface is actually very cool, but this is the OG Ghost in the Shell. And just get ready to see what we got here. So this was from 2000. Really cool. We'll probably split the video. We'll do like 15 minutes of Ghost in the Shell and then 15 minutes of Appleseed. So we'll start with Ghost in the Shell. Man, it's so kick-ass. I've got Manga Mania. No, I've had it. I caught it in 2000. Dude, that's so sick. And those are nice, simple buildings, you know, overall. They're a little detailed, but, you know what I mean? Like, overall, he's not filling in blacks on everything. That's where it gets psycho. Looks great. I need to hire a screen tone assistant so I can have them place all my screen tones in my art. I would actually buy the sheets of it, honestly, but it's very expensive to get like a ton if you were going to do like a long series with it. And it is quite time consuming to place down, but I have a few strategies on that. You will see later down the road. I actually had a bunch of Zipatone from when I worked with Travis, believe it or not. I bought a bunch, and we used it a little bit on the series, but I had already been picking it up, and so I had some, and then I got more, but I still have all that stuff, so. The sun finally came out outside, which was kind of cool. Nice change of pace. It's nice. I still haven't seen the newer Ghost in the Shell movie. Was it any good? Oh, you know what? This is crazy. I didn't realize that so this is actually, wow, what a trip. Okay, I was like tripping. I didn't really look at the word balloons. But this is actually the reverse version. That's cool. It's been a long time since I looked at this, obviously. It's cool. I apologize for being a dumbass for the last 3 minutes. You know, when I shoot the videos, I'm sort of looking at the pages. I'm looking at my camera at the same time. And so I miss things. And then I watch it back and it's so obvious. But you know, when you're doing it, it's not always as obvious. I'm trying to make sure the book doesn't fall off the desk and all that stuff too. So hopefully everyone's doing well, and if you can, hit the like button on this. I'd really appreciate it. I'm always trying to build my channel, and you know, that helps for sure. Comments are always great. If you have recommendations for a book, I do take them all really seriously. So I actually threw a notebook by my computer, and when people suggest stuff or recommend things, I write it down now. And so when I'm out my storage, you know, if I see something, I'll grab it. So I have this kind of short mental list. I have a little bit of everything. Honestly, there's very little that someone would suggest that I probably don't have something of. It's just finding it can be tricky. This is a great panel. Yeah, my collection got huge from buying other people's collections, and then that created a lot of variety in what I had. So it was a long time ago, but I bought like, I think 3 or 4 different collections off people that had pretty big collections they were dumping. And it's really difficult to go through someone else's books. It's super time consuming and it's very random, but there's a lot of good stuff you can get from it, especially if you can get it at a good price. But then you get like logged down with all this stuff, and it's so hard to sell. Oh my god, it's almost impossible. You need to like get an assistant and have them like photograph all this stuff and grading. It's a pain in the ass. Actually, Dave Sim did a video on that about like buying a collection, how expensive it is to flip it or how time consuming. It's crazy. It was an interesting video because he spelled it out quite well, I thought. Nothing I've ever bought has been that valuable, though, to be clear. It's really cool. It's a great little panel. That's really, really nice. I have a couple of Totoro books. God, man, I have so much random shit. Okay, here we go. I like how the color is like fading out. And then here we go. Those little vehicles are great. They're so cool looking. Page won't turn. This is very simple art overall. That's interesting. It's like when you think of Ghost in the Shell, you just think of like this insane, like, kind of more what Appleseed looks like to me, just based on the little flip through that I did. I don't know what the order was. Did the first Ghost in the Shell come out first? I'm kind of thinking that it didn't. I think Appleseed preceded it. I could be wrong. I think Appleseed is older. Broke out all my Akira phone books. I have all those in my office right now, and even the color books too. I've got a pretty big run of them. I don't have them all though. Let's skip ahead a little bit. Let's see what's going on. It's a nice panel. This is less detailed than I thought. It's funny. Oh, that's really cool. That's nice. Yeah, where are all these originals? That's the craziest thing. I just want to know. He's either got mountains of art. I mean, imagine all these black and white pages, too. There's hundreds of them. If anyone knows, do these guys sell this stuff? What do they do with it? That's really cool. Yeah, as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm throwing on Love, Death, and Robots, whatever it's called. I'm watching that while I work. That's cool. Wow, that's crazy. Speaking of Dave Sim, it reminds me of the Spawn issue with Cerebus. While the superheroes are locked in the cells. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to kind of flip. When we see cool stuff, we'll stop and check it out. Someone was saying they watch these videos on their big TV. I recommend that, honestly. Then you get a look at this art gigantic, depending on your screen. That's what you want. That's why I do these zooms. These are great study tools, man. You lock into a video of an artist that you like, just plant this stuff into your DNA. Watch it over and over again, and just memorize how the stuff looks, how it looks right, and and it'll direct you to make proper choices on your own art. Even if it's not reminiscent of what you were looking at, you're just going to know the answer intuitively, you know. You'll know when it looks right because you've looked at proper art. In fact, it'll become natural. Sometimes even for me, like I'll look at like people's art and I'll go, how the fuck did they figure that out? How did they know that? And I already know the answer. You just know when you're doing it. You just your hand and your eye just goes. It needs a little something. It needs to be a little darker here. It needs to be a little lighter here. This needs to curve a little bit more. You just massage it. That's cool. Man, what a great panel. This is nice too. Yeah, this is a good way to look through the book, is to just kind of skip around just a tiny bit. Oh my god, look at that. That's fucking awesome. Dude, these guys draw such good guns. They may have a gun assistant though. Like that wouldn't surprise me, because I've seen that even done in like American comics, like where someone draws really good guns and you've got someone who's a pretty good storyteller, and just they sort of Greek in where the gun is, and then they hand it off to the person who does the guns, draws real good guns. That is really, really cool. This is a great panel too. Man, that floor and the thing is really neat. Look at this shot. Woo, that is nice. That is so cool. Look at this. That guy is awesome. Oh man, holy shit. This is a great page. Look at this. That layout is so nice. Oh my god. Look at that. Sorry, the pages are bent. I'm trying to hold one down, so it makes it where they're all kind of slightly curved. So you're getting curvilinear perspective tweak on this, just in natural video. Man, that is so cool. That's so iconic. Ooh, it's cool. This is nice. Man, beautiful. God, they just create these worlds. It's so fantastic to look at. It's so immersive. That's a great, great open, just beautiful, beautiful little drawing right there. This is nice too. Fuck yeah. Look at that. Beep, beep. And then they show up at the tugboat. Damn. Okay. Got some hotties doing things hot girls do. Okay, I'm going to set the phone down for a sec. This is making my hand tired. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. It's the way that I'm holding the book and trying to flip through it is a little, it's a little awkward for my wrist. Oh man, that's cool. Beautiful, beautiful, like application of like dyes, watercolor, whatever it is that he's using. It looks really cool. Stylish, but you know what I mean? Like it just looks cool. Again, where's this original? That's what I want to know. Oh, her pants are cool. Look at this. Psychedelic. Shoot. We're doing such a good job on this book. I'm like almost thinking that we should just save Appleseed for its own video. I think we will. We'll just go through Ghost in the Shell. Man, that is such a kick-ass panel. God dang. Yeah, because this book is really, really cool, and I'd hate to split it, so. Whoa! Hold on. My Chrome had froze, and then it just released itself from its frozen state. If you can name that song, I'd be really, really fucking impressed. I'm curious if someone will be able to get it from that intro. I don't think I could, even though I know what the song is now. But It was just a random like suggestion, and I put it on, and I was like, oh man, I fucking totally remember this song. It's a great tune. We'll see if anyone knows. It definitely would be nameable. If you know the song, you'll know it. This is gonna be exciting. Hopefully you could hear it. If not, will make no sense. Oh man, look at that shit. Dude, this is such a great page. Man, that's really cool. Look at him. His face. Oh man, it's crazy. It got like super cartoony here. I'm sure they have a name for it. I don't know what they call it when it switches to that like super crazy like look. This is cool. This is a nice little panel right here. This guy's kind of cool too. Okay, so let's flip through some more. Ooh, that's nice. Look at that. That is so cool. You know, one thing that I would recommend if you're going to use the perspective tools in something like Manga Studio or Clip Studio is you need to be really, really careful of the stuff looking overly perspective. I saw something just this morning, and someone had clearly laid it out in Clip Studio, and look, it was accurate. It was like a 2 point perspective shot, I think, but it looked so stiff. You can't like everything can't go to the two vanishing points. It just doesn't look right. Objects sit in very different relationships in that stuff, and it's like I I'm always trying to help you guys, and it's like I know that all these tools help like expedite like the speed that you get things down, but like you're never going to have a natural look if everything's on snap grids. It just looked weird. I wish I could remember what it even was. I would hate to show someone's work as an example of what not to do, but it was kind of what not to do, honestly. I can't even remember where I saw it though. Honestly, I'm not just saying that, but it was something that I saw either this morning or last night. I was like, nope, don't do that. But those tools are cool. You just but you need the traditional foundation. I only stress it because I want you guys to be badass artists. The best digital concept artists are guys that can draw their fucking ass off, and girls. There's some great female concept artists too. But yeah, they're all really good traditional artists. That's the thing, is like you can't sidestep that. It just doesn't work. You want to believe that it can, it can't. And unless you're just unless you focus all that attention to digital, and that becomes like the only thing that you're like basically a master digital artist. But using a bunch of crutches for a lot of your methodology is just, it's like, you know you're gonna have trouble because you're not gonna be able you won't be able to draw out of situations. You won't be able to create out of situations because you don't have the knowledge base. That's the thing. So just learn the fundamentals. Spend like a year or two really, really ground and pounding and learning that stuff, and then you'll be able to use all those tools, and you'll be 1,000 times more liberated from it. I promise you, the hard work that you spend up front will not go to waste. It just won't, you know. Imagine being a digital inker that doesn't know how to feather a line traditionally. You know what I mean? Like, they have taper tools. That's great, but I mean, like, wouldn't that be weird if you were at a comic book convention and someone said, "Hey, can you ink this sketch?" and you were completely helpless? Like, I mean, do you want to be that? No, of course not. Buy a couple of brushes and give it a go. It's like, God damn, Rich, lighten up, bro. Just trying to help you. That's all. What's interesting is there's some really like masterful digital artists that use like ZBrush and stuff like that, and you can tell that they're stuck. There's two in particular that I follow that do amazing, amazing work, but they literally had to go backwards to move forward. And I'm watching one of them kind of do it currently, but it's like you can only mirror image, you know, like take half of an image and then flip it, and then put a bunch of like designy stuff on both sides, and kind of, you know, sort of do art that way, or you know, I mean, it's just, you can see the limitations of it for them, and then they have to do the hard work later, which can sometimes be harder, you know. Okay, so let's, oh man, the car is great. It's a very, very creative looking building. It's very cool. It's not super functional, like I don't know, this is interesting. I'm assuming, yeah, I guess that's farther away, so there are windows up front, but yeah, it's pretty wild. I kind of like that. Behind them, that little area is neat. This is great. Look at that little panel. Man, it's so fun. Oh, that's a really nice drawing. I'm just skipping ahead a little bit. Get to some money shots. We're in 22 minutes in. We'll go for like 9 more minutes. Just hang tight, little buddies. Little Richies. It's a nice panel. You know, someone had asked me a question on Patreon, and I'll share it here. The question was: is it a bad idea to draw shitty comics? And Ryan, I don't think you'll mind me just sharing the information here. But essentially, what he was asking was is that he had just finished a 20-page book, and he knew he wasn't a fully realized, like, he didn't know all of his anatomy all the way. I'm paraphrasing for you, but you know what I mean. Like, he knew that he didn't have it all down. Maybe he didn't know how to use perspective perfectly and all this stuff, and but it was the way that he could keep continuing to draw, and he felt like when he was only practicing that he was just stuck and it wasn't getting better. And I said that I think that drawing shitty pages is a great idea, because the thing is pages will test you on every front, and ultimately that's what you want to do. It would be the equivalent of wanting to be a songwriter and practicing every single aspect of what songwriting would be. Like, you're like, I have to be able to play chords perfectly, and I have to understand the English language, and I need to know all these analogies and this and that and other. And it's like, or you could just start to write some shitty songs, and they'll be derivative, and they won't be as strong as the work that you do later, but you will be writing songs, and you will be understanding that. And then you learn as you do that. You go, you know, I'm terrible at the bridge. I don't know how to write bridges and songs. I don't know how to do a down shot very good. And then you take that task on, and you learn how to do down shots better. You learn how to do a fight scene better where two characters are in it, because you know what you're bad at. But if you never try to write a song, or if you never try to draw pages, the problem will be that you won't know what you're naturally good at, because every artist has strengths that are just kind of inherently in them that they're good at. Maybe you draw pretty faces, you know, maybe you actually can draw some really nice detail. Maybe your stuff has a real nice loose energy to it. I always used to use the example of there was an artist. It was a guy that worked at Wildstorm that was in production, and he wanted to draw comics, and maybe like twice a year he would do like a pinup of the Authority or whatever it was, and he had a lot of potential, a ton, but he wasn't fully realized. But he had stuff in his art that really would have been difficult for anyone to learn just naturally, but he didn't learn the other stuff, unfortunately, as far as I know. And so it was like he was never able to blend what he was naturally good at, which to me, honestly, he had things that were harder to learn than the nuts and bolts stuff that he needed to learn. He had an X factor in his stuff from the get go. There was an energy and a looseness to his figures that was really interesting looking, and it's a shame, but he didn't know. And it's like you can't convince someone of that if they don't know. If the lights aren't on, then you probably can't turn them on for them. It's tricky. But I always would encourage him to draw. I told him, I said, this desire of yours to pencil is never going to go away, man. You can do the hard work now, or you can do it like 15 years from now. But I would just recommend just suck it up. This is great. Go for it. And then, enjoy, 3 years from now when you actually have learned these like fundamentals that make all the other stuff kind of fun and more doable. So, But yeah, I don't think he ever did anything with his work, unfortunately. Oh, you know what it was is I looked him up on like Facebook, and he's kind of drawing about the same pace. He does like two or three pieces a year. Occasionally he'll get like a little commission, to maybe do something for a friend. Not always comic related, but just a drawing of some sort. But, he could probably have been drawing comics. Or doing his own thing, a create our own book, whatever. So that's cool. Man, they just crush it with these shots. It's so cool. It's funny because it's very active outside by my house, but we're supposed to be staying indoors. But I hear construction going on and jackhammers and all kinds of stuff. Different areas too. Just chilling. Chilling. He's chilling. All right, we're getting towards the end. That's cool. He used this color palette on one of the pieces in the book that we looked at this morning. Or is this the same back? It's almost the same shot. I think I actually remember the ground plane of it. I don't know the piece very well. I'm trying to remember. Was she a silhouette on the other one? I'm almost thinking that this foreground thing was the same, and maybe that was different. Like there's a version with the fully realized figure. I could be wrong. Oh, and this is starting to get into the man machine interface sort of look. Again, I'm not as huge of a fan. The drawings are great in it. I think that this sort of textury stuff got a little overdone in man machine interface because they were putting it on just about everything. But it's still nice looking stuff. Like this is more traditional. All right, so you got Ghost in the Shell and a serious reality pep talk. What more can you ask for? Like I said, and you look, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, then just in your mind go, fuck you, and ignore what I say. But, I'm trying to help you. 9 out of 10 pros recommend Dentine for drawing well. No, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, I think I've been around enough artists and seen what it takes to improve and to for you to be able to flex your creativity, because that's what you want. Every style it can be great, You can draw so simple and do very, very cartoony work. You can do really loose, scratchy, crazy work. And look at all the different art we look at on this channel. But the one thing that they kind of all have in common is that they can draw, you know. Let's see. We'll take one quick peek at Appleseed really fast. Just want to show you like that little opening of it. Okay, let me. This book is so nuts, man. He was like, it was on fire. Man, check that out. That's so crazy. Appleseed is just nuts. Oh, I love that look. It's so good. Man. So, all right, have a great day. And I'll be back tomorrow with a couple more videos. Again, just keep popping those recommendations up. I take them all real seriously, and if I can somehow expedite a video of what you request, I will do it, you know. And I've done it many, many times. I mean, it's like, it's nice to have the recommendations because they're definitely, you know, sometimes I'm just like, oh, I don't know what to pick. It seems like redundant or whatever it is. So, all right, have a great day. I hope you guys are all well. And, oh yeah, this piece. This is a very, very iconic image. It's a good one to end on. Okay, have a great day. Bye.